Hello, all. This is Era Sunbaum, and this is Podcast Reflection 3. This week, I listened to a podcast from Gretchen Rubin about setting habits that you'll actually keep. Gretchen Rubin is a lawyer turned author. She focuses on helping people to be happier, healthier, and more connected. She is a New York Times best-selling author, a podcaster, and a speaker. She created a framework called the Four Tendencies, which is what this podcast is about. And she is helping people explore happiness and good habits and how to achieve those in their lives. She was very inspirational. So this week I want to talk about instigating change. In week 1, we heard from Patty Dobrovolsky about envisioning change and drawing a plan for your future and enacting that change. And then last week we heard Herminia Ibarra talk about why leadership feels awkward and how we can practice our leadership traits and make those feel more comfortable so that we can basically dress for the part that we're trying to get. This week, I listened to a podcast about the Four Tendencies, and the recognition of these tendencies can help leaders work with people because we need to think about different people having different personalities and different motivations. So this framework basically tells us about 4 different kinds of people and where their motivations come from, which will help us when managing or leading people. So starting with the upholders, they are those kinds of people who meet outer expectations as well as inner expectations. Then moving to the questioners, they resist outer expectations until they figure out whether they have a good reason to uphold those and generally meet inner expectations. So Gretchen Rubin stated that basically what questioners do is they look at the outer expectations and decide whether or not they're valuable and then turn those into inner expectations, which they then meet. Then we have the obligers. They meet outer expectations but can resist inner expectations. And finally, the rebels, who basically do what they want when they want, and these are the very creative people and the people who think outside the box, and they're interesting and they're charismatic. So listening about these tendencies, and I encourage you to listen, you'll recognize that, maybe you kind of tend towards one of them and not the other. So I took the quiz and I am a questioner, which is funny because generally in these types of personality quizzes, I'm always skeptical about, oh, you know what, you could be more than one, or, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. But I took the quiz and it did turn out that I was a questioner. So I thought that was kind of funny. And then I had one daughter who is a rebel and my mother's a rebel, but she was surprised because she thought she'd be a questioner. The funny part about that is my mom is definitely a thinking outside of the box kind of a person, and she's highly intelligent and highly creative, and she's really an interesting person to be around. And being a rebel doesn't necessarily mean that you're breaking the law or doing bad things. It's, she thinks differently than everybody else, and sometimes she struggles with communication, but she's just a brilliant person, and I've known she's a rebel for years and years and years, but she actually didn't see herself as that, so I thought that was pretty funny. And then there's the obligers. They're people who, need an outer source, a boss to tell them, hey, I need you to do this, and then they can meet those expectations more readily, but they place a little bit less value on themselves. And then my younger daughter, I don't know what happened, but she must be a rebel because she got lost and started taking some other kind of quiz and never did finish this Four Tendencies quiz. So I'm thinking she's probably a questioner too because she's a lot like her mama. But, it's pretty interesting to do this quiz with the people that I know. After realizing what tendency we are, they talked about rewards and that rewards should fit in with the action and not go against it. So they spoke about employees who attended a gym. A company paid for employees to join this gym, and they went for a certain number of times, and if they met that challenge, they would get a credit to go to the gym for free for the next year. So they're rewarding going to the gym with going to the gym. So that makes sense. The podcasters talk about, rewards that may be bad, like I'm going to go run a mile and then I'm going to eat a huge chocolate cake. So that doesn't really make sense since you're trying to be healthier and then rewarding yourself with an unhealthy thing. They did mention, somebody who's been doing yoga can reward themselves with a new yoga mat. So making sure that we pay attention to, what we're rewarding ourselves with is pretty important. So here's the quiz. You can go take this online and discover what tendency they will assign to you. And like I said before, I am a questioner. This week, I did something a little bit different. I am learning beekeeping, and I have a farm, as many of you know, so I'll be getting bees on our farm, but we also have bees here at our college, at North Carolina Wesleyan College, and I am the club advisor for the bee club. So part of that is I have to take care of the bees over the summer when the students and the faculty members are not here. So here's a picture of me and Barry Hines, who is our master beekeeper and who's teaching us how to be beekeepers. And then a picture of the bees. So basically what I had to do was I had to go into the bee box and I had to put half a Swiffer cloth on top so that it would trap any mites that might be in the bee box. So this actually didn't take that long, but I had to get suited up and I had to go into the bee box, and I actually listened to podcasts while I was doing this. I found that I was kind of focusing in and out, like I would listen to parts of it and then I'd, zone out. So generally when I'm doing this, I'll hear some really good stuff and be thinking about it, but I have to go back and listen to it again most of the time, which is okay. Several of these podcasts I've listened to several times because I really feel like I need to review things to actually get the full benefit from them. And Dr. Agronin in Florida wrote an article about the elderly and making sure they have healthy brains. And he said that maturing adults are able to think more relatively, pragmatically, and less egocentrically. And I think that's interesting, as we're all, of course, getting older. And he also said that there are 3 things that will help to build brain health as we age, and those are skills and attributes. So we learn the things and then they keep us going. The number 2 thing is resilience to adversity. Of course, as we have more experiences, we're going to experience more adversity in our lives and become more resilient, and that again makes us less egocentric and more pragmatic and able to deal with things a little bit better. And then the other part is to reinvent yourself and try new things. And we all hear about, when people retire, all the interesting things that they want to do. So I'm always trying to learn, and this beekeeping has been something that I've learned a lot from. So I got the Swiffer in, it was very hot, and listened to the podcast all at the same time. So continuing on with my technology tip theme, I found this really neat app that is gamified that can help you to master habits and get chores done and things like that. You earn gold coins and such, and you can even play with your friends. So if anybody wants to be my friend on Habitica, please feel free to hit me up. I'm excited to use this. I think I'm going to get my kids and husband in on it as well. So stay tuned, and here is the demonstration video of Habitica. So here we go. We're going to open Habitica, and you'll see the dashboard. You can create your own avatar. You will obtain health points and experience points. You can create custom habits that you want to form. So I've got here, I want to read for 30 minutes every day at least, and study a master of the craft, and eat healthy, and 10 minutes of cardio. So you can check those out. You can add daily things, so you can do homework, floss, etc. And then you have to-dos when you get stuff finished. You can check those off. As you can see, you earn gold coins, and I guess you can earn diamonds. And then those can be traded for rewards, so you can get like extra clothes or pets or swords or whatever. So this gamifies everything. And you can also look at your stats. You can add friends and complete challenges. So I'm excited to try this out because it sounds fun. Thanks for listening, and subscribe and follow my channel. Have a wonderful day.